The importance of the decision-making process. Once you have watched and understood the information in this video and how you can use it to your benefit, you will have one of the most powerful abilities of a master influencer. Once you master the information here, it will make everything else that you have learned so far throughout this training come together as a well-oiled machine. Being a master influencer is all about your ability to convert others to your point of view. In other words, how effective you are at getting them to take the action that you want. For your audience to take the action that you want, they have to decide to do this on a conscious or subconscious level. People need to decide. Every action that a human being takes is the result of a decision. Pulling your hand away from something hot is an automatic decision. Making a purchase of a product or service takes more time to decide. Knowing how people make decisions will greatly help you to influence them. It is very important that you understand that the need to avoid pain and gain pleasure will always have a significant impact on the way that people make decisions, no matter what kind of character they are. We're talking about the bigger decisions here, like wanting to buy into your philosophy, for example. We're not talking about automatic decisions that are instinctive, such as avoiding danger. The decisions here require thought and time and have consequences for the person making them. They need to think everything through before deciding. Different types of decision makers. We will now take a look at the different types of decision makers that you are likely to encounter. This is important to you because each type will use a slightly different process to make their important decisions. The thinker. We all know people that are thinkers. They like to scrutinize everything and weigh up the pros and cons of the outcome of making a decision. Thinkers will not come to a decision until they have done this. They believe that they are outsmarting the opposition, you as the influencer, by being very methodical. Thinkers like to get their hands on all the information that they can. They try and restrain emotion and only use rational thought. This does not mean that they are not open to new ideas. You need to structure your presentation to thinkers so that they can analyze the detail and understand the mechanics of everything. If you don't do this, then you will lose them. The best way to influence thinkers is to involve them in the entire process. Be sure that they understand how you arrived at all of your conclusions and provide evidence to back this up. Failure to do this will result in the thinker trying to work it out for themselves rather than listening to you. If there are risks associated with what you are proposing, then you need to be open about this. You can ask the thinkers what they believe would be the best way to minimize the risks. Your credibility will go way up with the thinker when you do this. The skeptic. We all know people that are skeptics. They are just naturally suspicious and will not take on board any information that does not fit with the way that they see the world. To combat this, you must show that the information you are presenting comes from sources that the skeptic considers credible. Skeptics are always up for a fight and are not shy in voicing their opinion if they think that what you are telling them goes against their beliefs. Quite often, skeptics are very confident in their opinions and will make risky decisions to support them. They are usually relentless and like to think that they know it all. If they need help, they will only go to people they trust. Don't believe that skeptics never make quick decisions because this is not true. They will often make decisions immediately that others would need time to evaluate. Skeptics rely on their instincts a lot, so it is easier for them to make a quick decision if everything seems right to them. You may think that it is extremely difficult to influence skeptics, but this is not always the case. There is no guesswork with skeptics. They're going to tell you straight out what their concerns are. The best way to influence a skeptic is to get them to place extreme value on the data sources you use. If you don't currently have any credibility with skeptics, then use sources from people and organizations that a skeptic will trust. A skeptic will always look for a reason not to trust you, so answer their questions honestly. It can be harder to influence a skeptic at first, but once you have their trust, it will be a lot easier in the future as you will be a part of their inner circle. The follower. In a nutshell, followers use the decision-making processes of others as reference points for their own decisions. They like to do things that have been proven to work for others in the past. Venturing into uncharted territory is not something that a follower likes to do. Usually followers are not innovative or creative people, and they don't like examining options that have no proof that they work. Followers tend to invest in trusted brands and products and services that have social validation. Bargains are great for followers. If they believe that they are getting a great deal, then this will have a major impact on their decision-making. They will often jump on something new and unproven because the price makes it irresistible. To influence followers, you need to provide proof and then more proof. It is important that you do not take a follower out of their comfort zone because they don't like that. Their defense mechanisms will kick in immediately with new things. The best way to influence followers is to convince them that many others have succeeded by taking the action that you want them to take. Gather as many testimonials as possible that you can and references from credible sources. Unlike a skeptic, followers do not tend to make quick decisions. This is where you can use the bargain tactic. A lot of followers will throw caution to the wind when they believe they are getting a bargain. The leader. Leaders are meticulous people that are always striving for perfection. They are very independent and very proactive. Leaders are usually driven by fear of the unknown and their future. Most of the time, they will view any change in their life to be negative. The fear is sometimes so bad that it paralyzes them from taking action. This type of fear can make a leader very defensive and combative. They will often focus on worst-case scenarios and negativity when they experience this fear. The fear is not all bad. It can actually be a major driving force for them to achieve goals that most people only dream of. A leader will roll up their sleeves and take massive action if they don't agree with how specific things are being done. They are very confident in their ability to get things going on their own. Doing things their way is very important to a leader. Leaders are always confident that their abilities will provide them with the right answers. Leaders are the opposite of followers. They don't need to see that something has worked for others to take action. Instead, they rely on their instincts, and when they make a decision, they always have to be in control. Their decisions are usually based on their own judgments. Rarely will a leader ask another person for advice. A leader fears losing control more than anything else. This can work for and against them. They believe that they know what is right and what is wrong, and their way is always the right way. To a leader, most things are black and white, and gray areas never come into it. Failure is not an option, so leaders tend to avoid risk and accountability. It will be more of a challenge for you to influence leaders than any other type of decision maker that we have discussed in this video. Trying to influence them directly will not work. You have to influence them in a way where you get them to influence themselves. The two drivers you have are time and fear. Leaders work at their own pace and will not be rushed, so you need time. The other thing that you need to do is to reduce their fear to a minimum so that they can convince themselves that your message is sound. Trying to force a leader into doing something is a total waste of time. You can give a leader the best advice that is all totally genuine and true, but if they suspect you of having a hidden agenda, it doesn't matter if you don't, they will be very defensive and even combative towards you. In this situation, a leader will ask you questions relentlessly. Keep your composure and be patient. Don't be defensive yourself or take things personally. Keep in mind that fear is driving their behavior, and it is not something that you have said or done. Leaders will never admit that they are fearful of anything, which in itself is a challenge. If a leader asks you for more information, then always provide it. They may not even look at it, but the fact that you have responded will help to reduce their fear a little. Leaders need structured and clear presentations that are linear. You will also need to ensure that they perceive you as an expert. They will appreciate your presentation more if you do it with power, authority, discipline, and command. Leaders like confident people that know what they are talking about. A leader will take all of these factors into account and then influence themselves to take action. That is the only way that you are going to get them to do what you want. So always give them the perception that they are in control. Leaders do not like conventional selling methods, so never try to sell to them. You are just providing them with an opportunity. It is up to them to influence themselves to go for it. The enthusiast. The enthusiast is always looking to get involved with something new. They look on new ideas enthusiastically and make it their mission to find out how the idea can benefit them and those around them. Enthusiasts like innovative ideas and have no problem with revolutionary thinking. Imagining the possibilities of an idea really drives an enthusiast. They are responsible people and always focus on the bottom line. You will find that enthusiasts interact a lot and they usually make decisions easily. They will take risks if they believe that the rewards are worth it. Enthusiasts hate wasting time and hardly ever procrastinate. When the time is right for them, they will make the decision. Decision-making with enthusiasts begins with excitement. They will then look for facts to back up their enthusiasm. If they are unable to find the facts, then their excitement for the idea will quickly diminish. When you are presenting an idea to an enthusiast, then you don't have to provide too much detail, but they will want you to provide a detailed plan of how to implement the idea successfully. If you don't have a plan for them, then they will go off of your idea fast. You need to understand that most enthusiasts have been burned in the past because they make decisions fast without thinking everything through. So you need to work on ensuring that their enthusiasm for your idea does not diminish. This means doing your homework and answering all of their questions. If you use the right approach, then influencing an enthusiast is easier than some of the other types of decision makers. Don't flood an enthusiast with a lot of detail. Their attention spans tend to be limited. Show them the most important thing first, which is how the decision will improve their bottom line. Always bear in mind that most enthusiasts will tell you to your face that they are 100% on board with your message. Unfortunately, some of them will change their mind a little later. You can mitigate this to some extent by providing them with the information that they need and being credible and confident. In the next video, we will discuss what you can do to maintain your ability to influence.